Wait, hold on for a minute. Maybe we need to put this into a different context. What we have here is a battle between globalism, which is nothing more than a souped up version of communism mixed in with a little fascism, and capitalism. And it's a battle between both sides, and we, meaning you and me, are caught in the middle. Forget about left versus right, Republican versus Democrat. That really no longer applies. Making statements like one side of the coin is no different than the other, and that politics are only there to divide us, are no longer valid. Your freedom, or our freedom, to make our own choices as to the way we live our lives is in jeopardy. Would you be willing to let your neighbor determine what you wore on a daily basis? Would you let the person down the street decide what you can or cannot have hanging on your walls? Would you be prepared to let someone you don't even know determine what you as an individual can or cannot say? This is where all of this is heading, you know. And it should be pretty damn obvious to anybody with their head screwed on straight by now. The plan was, before everything went off the rails in 2016, to slowly encroach upon all of our freedoms where we wouldn't notice it, or we'd be willing to give up a little bit just so they'd leave us alone later. When the reality of it is, they had no intention of leaving us alone. Everything the left talks about as their political platform and ideas isn't just some half baked fantasy. It's what they actually want to do. It's their platform and their policy, whether we as the American public are willing to believe it or not. That means attacks on the First Amendment, what you can or cannot say, attacks on the Second Amendment, your right to defend yourself and your family. And it only gets worse from there. Where you can live, how you can live, and how you raise your children will no longer be in your control. Someone else has decided that they know best and that our rights as human beings should be taken away because we don't. By accident or design, we were given a second chance in 2016 to finally shake this monkey off of our back. And this is our last opportunity to get it right. Because if we don't get it right this time, there probably isn't going to be any turning back. So if it's in your nature to not get involved, to look the other way, to make excuses as everything is taken away from you, then you'll get or will get exactly what we deserve because we weren't willing to exercise our right to free speech while it was still available, to use whatever tools were available to legally and lawfully accomplish our goals, leading us to a conflict that nobody wants. Because on the other side, who the hell knows what's going to be left? What system could be in place so that people are allowed to be free? And here's the ugly truth that nobody wants to hear. If you won't participate in a war of ideas, you will never, ever participate in a hot conflict where your life will quite literally be on the line on a daily basis. If you're willing to roll over now and look the other way, you'll roll over when action has to be taken, and all will be lost. And one day, you just might have to whisper in the corner to your child or your grandchild what it was like to be free.